The hall goes still. The countdown flashes to 0 while Melissa soothes the room about patient elders. I'm Henry, a grandfather. My phone lights up my pilot son Impossible. She's on my flight, not at home. I raise one photo, her copper bracelet stripped off at our door, timestamp 7:12 p.m. I step to the mic and let the silence land first. The shower thunders upstairs when my pilot son whispers, "Dad." She's on my flight to Paris. I pinch the phone to my ear and stare at the ceiling. Water drums through copper. The landline cord rests in a lazy curl against the counter. Say that again, I tell Mark. She boarded at the front, first row. I'm looking at her passport. Melissa Carter Dawson. His voice drops into the windbreak hush you get at a jetway. Dad, I'm not guessing. Upstairs, a cheerful knock on tile. A humming run of something from the radio she likes. My daughter-in-law is supposed to be in that steam. Impossible, I say, but it comes out thin. She's home. Dad, I have 30 seconds. Don't confront her. Log everything. I'll text my ETA. The line clicks. I put the phone down, went the mantel clock until the spring complains, and set it center frame on the bookshelf. The second hand catches, then marches. I open a ruled notebook and write across the top in block letters, logbook entry number 001, time call duration, what he said, what I heard upstairs. The pen digs a little deeper than needed. I stand the phone against the clock and take a photo. If I'm wrong, paper will say so. If I'm right, paper won't blink. Dad, Melissa's voice floats down the stairwell, light and casual. Who's on the phone? Wrong number, I say. Silence stretches for a beat. Then the shower stops, pipes clack. My heart does a small stupid kick, the kind it started doing after 60. I breathe out slow. The dishwasher chirps and I kill it. Without the hum, the house sounds like a stage between acts. I write the minute the water stopped. The clock ticks indifferent. Mark's text lands, return ETA Friday 1930. I pin the message to the top of my home screen and photograph that beside the clock, too. The glass gives me my own face creased steadier than I feel. Footsteps. The upstairs door opens. Melissa pads down hair damp, a towel looped low and efficient. She moves around my kitchen with the rhythm of someone who owns it. She smiles that soft hostess smile that makes strangers hand her their to-go cups and sins. You okay down here, she asks. Fine. David already left? She pulls a mug pours and leans a hip against the counter, the way people do when they're not rushed and want you to admire it. He's at the office. She watches me watching the clock. Still winding that thing every morning, it tells the truth when phones don't, I say. She laughs light as steam. Phones are pretty good at truth. We stand there in a polite quiet while the kettle mutters. My hand finds a dish rag it doesn't need. If I say anything foolish, I lose ground I haven't earned. I learned that as a foreman long ago, the first words make your leverage. I'll take a quick shower, she says, as if she didn't just take one. She nods toward the stairs with the same smile, then hesitates and studies me. You look pale, Dad. Want toast? Just water, I say. She slides by me to the fridge. Ethan's drawing of a rocket is held by a magnet shaped like a trout. She straightens the corner with a thumb. He drew that with me, she says. Right hand shading and everything. I keep my face still. The clock ticks. She steps closer to the fridge, pulls her phone, and frames herself with the drawing. Smile, she says. I'm not much for camera work. This is for David, she says, cheerful again. Proof I didn't forget the groceries like last week. The shutter flutters. She tilts the screen to check it adds a sticker hearts, I think, and a caption. Her thumbs dance. Men love domestic competence, she says, half teasing. It calms them, does it? She sips her coffee and glances at the notebook. What's with the cop notes? Just catching up on calls. Anything I should worry about? If there is, the clock will say, I tell her. She kisses the air near my cheek. You're sweet when you're cryptic. She walks out with the mug humming again. The hallway fills with her scent citrus and something floral. The front door doesn't open. She's staying in. Good. Or bad. I write that down too. I photograph the page next to the clock and tuck the phone into my shirt pocket. I make myself rinse a plate, then another, because the hands need a job while the head finds its footing. My voice is steady when I say it, but I hear the gravel underneath. I trust clocks over memory and over charm. The phone pings. A new bubble in the family thread. Melissa, David. She's used Ethan's rocket as a frame. Fresh hair, damp freckles, a sunny tilt of chin. The caption, grocery run, keeping the fort running. The photo wears its proudly stamped timestamp like a badge. I don't reply. I place the phone face down, align it with the notebook's edge, and underline 901 once. The underline comes out heavy. The clock keeps time. Upstairs pipes knock again. In the reflection on the oven door, I look like a man trying not to look like he's bracing. The kettle clicks off. I don't pour. I wait for the next sound. Evening light slicks the countertops. I lay out onions for chili, then stop. The grocery list on the notepad looks off letters leaning left loops pulled the wrong way. Melissa always curls her R's rightward when she's rushing. These lean like they were written in a mirror. Need anything else, she asks, breezing in with a smile and a tote. I'm running back out for tomatoes. I lift the list. You wrote this? She glances. Uh-huh. With your left hand, a small laugh. Calligraphy class, Dad. I'm practicing ambidextrous lines. It helps with flourishes. I turn the page over. The back is blank, but the impression soaks through heavy pressure at the tail of the Y, the kind people use when the hand is untrained. I don't argue. I peel the page cleanly, fold it once, and slip it into my pocket. David wanders in, loosening his tie. Hey, smells good. Melissa, you're an angel. She squeezes his arm. Trying to be. He kisses her cheek, then looks at me. All good, Dad, fine, I say. Just learning about calligraphy. Melissa smiles brighter. We need a little beauty around here. The mantel clock knocks once the 5:30 chime. You feel more than here. It anchors me. Beauty's good, I say. Consistency's better. She tilts her head, still sweet. It's just a grocery note. Notes keep a house running, I say. Her eyes measure that, then slide to David. He's been jotting everything down lately. It's cute. It helps me remember what people say I tell them. What I say, too. Nothing wrong with lists, David says, peacemaking. Melissa leans to the fridge, straightens Ethan's rocket drawing. Speaking of lists, she says I promised Paul from choir I'd bring bread on Saturday. Parish thing at 6, I say. Open mic at 15 past. I don't add that I like times because they don't care how I feel. She brightens. Right, we'll uplift our seniors. The way she says it sets a tiny splinter. My phone buzzes on the table. Family thread. A photo from Melissa posted a minute ago, her with Ethan's drawing again captioned, Earning my stripes as a house captain. Hearts stack in replies, neighbors, church friends, a deacon. Then Melissa adds a line, We love our Henry. He gets a little worried sometimes since turning 66, but we've got him. David chuckles, not unkind. You do worry, Dad. I set the phone down. Worry is cheaper than regret. Melissa moves to the counter and starts slicing lime with her right hand, steady practiced. You look tense, she says softly. Let me ease your mind. We should change the door code, just general safety. Too many deliveries lately. I'll take care of it. Tonight, I ask. Tomorrow, probably. Don't fuss. We'll text it to you. She goes back to her tote. The picture of the left-leaning letters burns in my pocket. I rinse cilantro and watch the water run off in bright green threads. Henry David says Gentle Mel's joking in the chat. You know how she is. I do, I say. Melissa's smile returns sunny as a kitchen window. I'm going to post a reminder for the neighborhood watch about porch pirates, she says. Keep everyone feeling safe. Safety's good, I say. Locks keep time, too. Her eyes flick just a beat. Meaning what? Meaning they remember changes better than people do. A tiny pause hangs there. She recovers with a light laugh. Well, then they'll love the upgrade. She drifts to the sink, rinses her hands. And Henry, if you're bored, maybe pick a recipe we can try this week. Something fun. Chili's plenty fun. Spoken like a foreman, she says, teasing. Former foreman, I say. But the word still fits. Boss energy, she agrees, and it lands like praise that left the factory minus sincerity. My phone hums again. The chat lights up with more hearts on her earlier photo. Someone writes Melissa's the blueprint for daughter-in-law. Cute. Efficient. True in the way an advertisement is true. I open a drawer, take out a rubber band, and wrap it around the folded list so it won't rub soft at the edges. I don't photograph it. Not yet. I just keep it close and keep my mouth shut. Dad, Melissa says bright again. What time is Ethan's bus tomorrow? 7:18. I say, 'cause I read the card once and then wrote it down like I write everything down now. See, she tells David. A human reminder app. He grins. Worth every subscription fee. I wash my hands and dry them. The towel leaves lint. I brush it off my fingers and look at the clock. The minuted hand moves like a patient animal that never gets tired. If I am wrong, paper will say so. The thought lands without heat. If I am right, paper won't blink. Want me to grab the tomatoes, I ask. I've got them, Melissa says. She swings the tote, then pauses in the doorway. Oh, and we'll change the door code. For safety. I nod once. She gives me that warm, crowd-pleasing smile. Then she's gone, humming. The door snicks shut. The family thread pings again. A neighbor replies with a row of clapping hands. I don't answer. I take the rubber-banded list from my pocket, feel the pressure marks under my thumb, and slide it into my wallet like a photograph. The clock ticks. I listen to it instead of the chat. The townhome door stares back in blank metal. I punch the code I've used since David installed the smart lock. A red ring blinks. The bolt doesn't move. I try again slower, like respect might help. Red again. The intercom crackles as if it's been listening the whole time. Melissa, I say into the grill steady. Door's not taking the code. Her voice floats through warm, patient. We just updated, must be a little glitch. Try later, Henry. Did you change it today? A small pause. David mentioned security. Don't worry, we'll text you. Then let the lock speak, I say, and I press my palm to the reader while my phone wakes to the app. Behind me, a neighbor with a grocery bag slows. He watches polite on the outside, hungry for a story under it. I keep my shoulders easy and look like a man who expects doors to behave. The app shows the recent activity with a calm that borders on smug. Code changed. A time sits next to it like a tag pinned to a lapel from 1413. I don't say the number out loud. I let the screen reflect in the intercom's dark plastic. Then I step out of the doorway so the neighbor can pass. He nods like he's agreed with me about something we didn't say. Try later. Melissa repeats gentler now, as if softness can sand away friction. Sure, I tell the speaker. Thanks. I walk back to the truck without looking over my shoulder. I've learned that in a plant and in a house, never argue at the door. Argue with paper. At my desk, I set the phone next to the mantel clock and take a clean, still photo of the screen. The second hand cuts past its mark. I send the image to my email with a subject line that will mean something in a week. Lock change logged. I print once on matte paper, no filters, no cleverness. The ink dries as I slide it into a manila envelope and write the date across the tab. One copy goes in the binder. One goes flat beside the clock for another photo screen paper and time in the same frame. Doors tell the truth. People argue with it. I sit with that as the printer cools. The silence after the fan stops feels like it used to in the shop on a Sunday, everything available for work, nothing moving unless you tell it to. Upstairs somewhere in the house, water runs again. I listen to the house, decide what story it wants to tell, and decide I don't care. The lock already chose. The landline rings. I let it. The app chimes a soft bird note, some designer's idea of reassurance. I swipe export the last day's activity to a file. The montage is quick email to myself, receipt pops back, subject line matches, attachment opens clean. I close it because the point isn't to memorize screens, it's to freeze them. A text from David lands. Everything good, I type. Yes. Picking up Ethan tomorrow. I don't add that tomorrow depends on whether the house decides I exist. Melissa sends a group reply with a smiley and a heart. Door code upgrade safety first. I'll share soon, Dad. She's good at tucking a needle inside a pillow. I angle the printout to the light and read the line again. Code changed 1413. It's not the content that matters, it's the sequence. If she was home when that changed, she's better at splitting herself than most people are at breathing. Someone knocks a fast, friendly rap. The neighbor with the grocery bag, now returning with his dog, sticks his head in the open doorway. Get it sorted, he asks. Glitch, I say. Always is, he says and smiles. The dog sniffs the rug and sneezes. The man tugs the leash and goes. I close the door so no more wind gets into the narrative. Back at the desk, I put a sticky note on the bottom edge of the printout, ask when. Not a threat. A question that will sound reasonable later when there are witnesses and chairs. The mantel clock gives its patient click at each second. I line the printout's margin to the wood grain and take one more photo, not because I doubt it, but because habit becomes armor. I slide the binder into the drawer and leave it open a crack so I can see the tab. I like to see the next thing I'll reach for. At the sink, I rinse a coffee mug and let hot water fog the window. The house settles around the edges. The phone startles the quiet with a new alert. Different tone, chirpier. I wipe my hands and look. New admin device added. No name, no explanation, just the phrase stamped like a little badge of ownership. I don't answer. I don't tap to see who. I grab a pen. Draw a neat circle around the words on the printout and let the ink dry there like a boundary. Colfax slows at the light and I slow with it. 50 yards ahead, Melissa crosses in a yellow dress, the wicker basket bumping her hip. I hang back a car length. Then two. Then choose the sidewalk, old man, speed invisible if you don't make noise. She darts into the side street, then into a narrow alley behind a sunburned brick building. The copper bracelet on her wrist flashes once in the shadow. She wraps a knuckle on a metal door labeled 2B. It opens a hand, pulls her in, and the door seals like nothing ever happened. I check my watch, don't say the time out loud, and listen. Farther down, a compressor hisses, then quits with a shudder. A mechanic straightens, wipes his palms, and gives me the chin-up hello. You give neighbors you've seen but never named. Looking for someone, he asks. Just catching my breath, I say. He nods at the metal door. You want 2B, you gotta move quick. Folks mix 'em up in there. Mix who up? He shrugs, reaching for a socket. Clack. The twins. Nice enough. Bracelets help me keep 'em straight. Twins? I say like I'm learning a new street name. Yeah. He turns back to the engine. Whole building's a mirror, man. I file that tone offhand unworried true in the way muscle memory is true. I thank him and walk out to the main street with the hiss still in my ears. By the time I reach home, Melissa is at my kitchen island in a white blouse, hair-dry slicing cucumbers. The bracelet is gone. She looks up like nothing about the day could possibly surprise her. Out for a walk, Henry, she asks. Long block, I say, hanging my cap. Good for the joints. She flicks a slice into a bowl. You looked pale earlier. Sun helped. She watches my face the way people listen for a crosswind. If you need me to text the new code, I'll wait, I say. Long blocks tell clearer stories. Her smile twitches then smooths. I'll have David send it. Fewer cooks. Fewer cooks, I repeat, and set my phone face down so I don't look like I'm documenting the air. She holds up a cucumber slice like a coin. Salt and a babe. She drops it, wipes the knife, and goes back to cheerful humming. I check the window above the sink. The evening light turns it into a dark mirror. The mantel clock behind me floats in the glass, ticking next to Melissa's reflection. 2 images, 1 room. I've seen smoke split like this, 2 fires, same wind. Dinner at 6, she says, friendly as a cashier. I'll be around. You sound mysterious, just old. Old and mysterious is adorable. She laughs and takes the bowl to the fridge. I'm running out for tomatoes again. Didn't you just different tomatoes, she says, already breezing toward the hall. I let the front door click shut and lean on the counter. The house breathes. The clock counts it. I don't chase, I don't accuse. I take out my phone open, voice memos, and say what needs to be said for me, not for a courtroom. Thursday, 5:52 p.m. Yellow dress at the alley, copper bracelet on the wrist entrance labeled 2KB. At home, white blouse bracelet gone. No confrontation. I end the memo and label it double shadow. Then I open a browser and type camera charger hidden. A dozen versions pop. I pick the one that ships fast and has a timestamp overlay you don't need a kid to decode. Checkout eats my card number and spits back a green banner. Order received, delivers by Fry Chick 0. I read it twice, then take one breath, then another. The compressor hiss from the alley seems to fold into the house's hum until all I can hear is the clock. I uncoil the new wall charger like it's any other appliance and slide it into the foyer outlet that faces the porch. A blue dot blinks once, then sleeps. The lens hides behind plastic like an eye that knows how to wait. I set the phone on the entry table under the mantel clock's reflection and open the app. The overlay time matches the clock's second hand. I say it out loud anyway, quiet enough the wood hears it more than I do. The doorbell rings. A delivery driver points at a padded mailer with his elbow and grins. Wrong house last time. Sorry about that. Happens, I say. Appreciate the correction. He steps off the porch. Tires hiss on wet pavement. I close the door and stand in the sight line the camera sees, then step back out of it. I check the feed once grainy, honest, and kill the phone screen. The house waits. My text tone pings. Ms. Rivera has dumped a flyer in the school parish thread. Parish Fall fundraiser sat 18 editors. A second image the program's first page with open mic at 1815 in tidy type. I star it and pocket the phone. We finally have a room and a clock. The porch boards groan. Keys rasp lightly. A shadow crosses the frosted glass. The knob turns, then pauses. The figure outside my daughter-in-law lifts her hand to her wrist. A glint. She slides the copper bracelet off, drops it into the wicker basket before the latch clicks. I don't breathe. The door swings. She steps in, smile ready. Oh, you're right there. Spooked me. Just passing through, I say. She glances at the console table at the new charger lodged like any other block. New gadgets now cheaper than arguments. Her smile holds. Cute. I'll be in the kitchen. She walks by. I watch her hands. No bracelet. She hums like always. The house closes around the sound. I wait until her footsteps fade, then pull the phone and open the app. The still frame stamps itself in the corner. 15:14. The overlay sits there like a notarized nod. I keep the documentation fast and boring, I tap. Save, then export a still, then copy the clip to a USB drive that I keep in a labeled tin. In the study, the montage is 3 beats. I print the still. I write VAI DU 1514 still in the log. I note file hash recorded. No speeches. I set the printed still beside the mantel clock and take a clean photo of the two together. Time is my witness when people won't be. By the sink water runs. Cabinets open close. She talks to herself the way people do when they expect to be overheard and want the eavesdropper to like them. Need help, I ask from the doorway. She keeps her back to me. If you want to peel carrots, be my guest. I'll pass. I lean a shoulder into the jam. Bracelet missing? She turns, drying her hands. Took it off to scrub. You don't want soap under copper. She smiles like that's the most normal sentence in the world. Practical, I say. Practical beats pretty. Depends what you're trying to do, she says, and the smile thins. We hold that a second. She breaks it with a chirp. Anyway, I'm going to start a sauce. Don't let me burn it. I go back to the study. The still on the desk is ordinary and damning. A hand at a wrist, the shape of the basket lip, the angle of the porch light. 1514 in the corner. Nothing theatrical, just arithmetic for the eyes. The printer spits a second copy. One goes in the binder behind a tab marked B. One goes flat for a better photo with the clock. I cap the pen liner at the top edge and close the binder so the tab peeks out like a promise. My phone vibrates on the desk, a cluster of hearts in the parish thread, then a new message in the family group chat. Let's be patient with anxious elders. A neighbor adds a hug emoji. Another posts a gif of someone swaddling a cat. My name doesn't appear. It doesn't have to. I set the phone down face first, palm flat on the back for one count of 5. Then I breathe once and label the USB with a strip of tape and a date. The sound of the tape tearing is cleaner than any argument. I walk to the foyer and check the charger with a glance only I would recognize as checking. Blue dot asleep. Good. In the hallway mirror, the clock's reflection floats over my shoulder like a patient witness. I nod to it and turn off the hall light. The parish office smells like polish and old paper. A volunteer with a lanyard points me to the coordinator, a woman who could balance a choir and a riot with the same clipboard. We keep it orderly, she says, tapping the sheet. Facts only. Keep it civil. Open mic is 18:15 sharp. Facts are all I'm bringing, I say. She hands me a printout of the program so I can stop asking. I don't argue. I take a photo of the card on my phone and out on the steps lay it next to my mantel clock in the frame for my own rhythm time meeting venue. Ms. Rivera waits near the garden bed, hands inside her cardigan sleeves, hind eyes, measuring the weather around me. I'll watch closely at pickup, she says. Handedness, that bracelet. I'll keep notes, and if needed, I can sign. I won't ask you to say anything you didn't see, I tell her. That helps, she says, and smiles like someone deciding courage isn't a performance. My phone buzzes with an airport chime. Mark, you've got a room and a clock, he says. Don't waste either. No ambushes, Dad. Walk the times. Let them do the lifting. I remember the plant, I say. Test the part, don't shout at it. Good. Land 1755 if winds behave. I'll text when wheels kiss. Don't text me back, just get the mic. We hang up. I breathe once and tuck the program into my inside pocket. The air tastes like lemon oil in October. Back home, I print the program card small and take a quick photo of it beside the clock habit, not evidence. The clock's second hand walks past the type tonight 18:00, open mic and an 18:15 like it approves of punctual people. In the study, I outline the controlled public reading on an index card, some Exhibit A lock. B porch still, handwriting, have payments, yay, notary F flight, no flourishes. I practice the order once, then again out loud so I don't drift when the room breathes at me. A new message lands in David's thread, audio attachment from Melissa. The waveform looks harmless, the caption wears soft wool. Worried about Dad caught this earlier. David forwards it to me without comment. I play it, my voice chopped and stitched. Strangers in the house. Change. Locks. The kitchen echo makes me sound haunted. The rest has been cut clean. I call David. He answers on the second ring. What is this, I ask. Mel says you've been unsettled. His voice is careful. She's asking if we should have someone. It's cut, I say. Pulled from 3 sentences. You know my cadence. Silence. Either way, no scenes tonight. Ethan sits with me. If you speak, you keep it short and clean. Timestamps are civil. Don't get clever, Dad. He hears tone more than facts. I won't aim at him. Another silence. He softens. Just don't make me choose in front of him. You won't have to. We hang up and I sit with that for a beat. The smear lands like a film on the day, but it can't stain the clock. I copy Titin Bade. 18:00 and 18:15 onto my card, big enough to see without glasses, and set it next to the envelope tabs. I don't need belief, just the clock in a room that listens. I call the parish coordinator back. Keep it simple. 1 mic slot confirmed. 1, she says. And Mr. Dawson. This isn't a trial. Good. Trials move too slow. I text Ms. Rivera a thank you and leave it there. No strategy essays, no heroic language. She replies with a single check mark and a tiny pencil emoji, which is more comfort than a paragraph. When the house quiets, I hear Melissa in the next room, the bright hum of someone who gets applause for chores. I'll bring bread for the fundraiser, she says into her phone. We'll keep things gentle. Uplift our seniors. I write gentle on the index card, then cross it out. David's name flashes again. A text this time. No scenes tonight. I don't answer. I take the card and write the times one more time, block letters, then slide the card into my breast pocket so the numbers rest over my heart, where nerves usually live. The alley door at 2B opens to a narrow wedge of shadow. The woman in the yellow dress steps out, the copper bracelet bright on her wrist. A hand reaches from inside with a thick envelope. She tucks it into the wicker basket and pivots fast. "Hey, Isabella, forgot your receipt!" A voice calls from inside. She doesn't turn. The door thunks shut. I keep walking like a man who likes alleys and shadows. The name fits in my pocket next to the folded list. By 5:30, I'm at David's home office. He turns from the monitor, jaw set, for a talk he doesn't want. 5 minutes, I say. 1 PDF. If it shows nothing, I drop it. Dad. 1. Then I'll make the chili and shut up. He exhales through his nose, wheels back to the keyboard, and logs in. Melissa's framed smile sits on the bookshelf. The room smells like printer heat and the pine cleaner he used when he's stressed. "What am I looking for?" he asks. "Transfer is labeled childcare," I say. Payee includes the word Torres. He scrolls, clicks again. This is invasive. "Look once," I say. "Clear me or confirm me." Either way, Ethan gets an honest father. The cursor finds a Zelle line. He stops. "What's that?" I ask. He doesn't answer. He opens it. The screen fills with the statement preview. He clicks download. The PDF opens with the bank's logo and the statement header printed bold at the top. Midway down, a transaction reads, "iTorres Services Childcare." His throat works. I don't know. This could be legitimate, I say for him. Could be. Or it could be a cover for a twin who just took an envelope at 2B. His head snaps. "What Isabella?" I say. "Bracelet, basket, same face, not the same woman." He shakes his head, but the shake is small. "I'm not—" "This is my marriage, Dad. I know exactly what it is," I say. "That's why I asked for 1 PDF. He presses his fingers to his eyes. When he looks again, he's not speaking as fast. If I print this, Melissa will say I'm conspiring, and then let time say it. I tap the corner of the monitor, print the one page that shows the header. Nothing else. He clicks print. The machine warms, then spits a single page. He holds it like it's hot. "I'll take a photo beside my mantel clock," I say. Chain only. No debate. He follows me into the study. I lay the PDF on the desk, slide the clock into the frame, and take one clean shot. The page shows what it shows: logo, header, line item. I don't crow. I don't sigh. I slide the page into a manila tab D and write the date on the tab, one slow stroke. "Dad," he says softer. "If this is wrong, then the room hears it wrong tonight, and I look like a fool," I say. "If it's right, we stop Ethan from thinking reality is whatever smile shines." He leans on the door jamb. His voice goes small. "She said you were imagining things. She sent me a clip. I heard the edit." He nods once like he's just lost a small game in his head. "There's a fundraiser tonight," he says, stalling. "Door 1730, program 1800. Open mic 1815. I pull the flyer on my phone. Mark texted landing 1755. It's tight, but he'll make it. David rubs his forehead. "You're going to say the name. In a room." "I'm going to say the times," I say. "Names aren't the point, sequences." He lets out a hollow laugh. "You and your clocks. They haven't lied to me yet." He looks at the page again. "If this is childcare, it could be for a neighbor, a favor, anything. Then time will say it. Not me," I answer. "Dates amounts travel. If the cadence fits, it fits." He frowns at the desk. "What do you need from me? Nothing but quiet and a seat for Ethan." He nods. He sits with me, he says, setting a line between us that is more guardrail than wall. I put the camera still tab E behind the bank page, tab D, so the spine feels like a backbone. I close the binder softly like a lid on a calm thing. We walk back to his office. The monitor has gone to sleep. He wiggles the mouse and the light returns as if it never left. "You'll keep it civil," he asks. "Time is the most civil thing in the room." His phone pings on the desk. The alert blooms at the top of the screen: security hold pending review. We stare at it until the banner slides away on its own. The credit union lobby hums with carpeted quiet. I step to Mr. Phelps's window. His nameplate sits straight like the man. "Morning," he says. "How can I help read-only statements from my son's account?" I answer, sliding my ID. He's on speaker. I tap the phone and David's voice fills the little box in the glass. This is David Dawson. You can let my father view and print read only for me today. Mr. Phelps nods. Within policy. He clicks through screens. I can't interpret anything for you. I'm not asking for opinions, I say, just initials. He glances up amused without smiling. Initials, not opinions. I can do that. Paper whirs from a back printer. He fans the pages, aligns them on a plastic tray, and sets a felt pen beside his hand. Per procedure, he says, I'll initial each page I print. That indicates they were produced at the branch. It doesn't state meaning. Perfect. He signs a tight MP on the bottom corner of the first page. Then the second. Then the third. Slow, neat, identical marks. He slides his card under a staple on top, an afterthought, not a seal. David breathes into the speaker. This is starting to feel like intrusion. This is help, I tell him. You asked for clean. Mr. Phelps keeps the rhythm turn MP slide. You'll want to keep pages in order, he says, and avoid writing on the fronts. It muddies things. I like things clean, I say. He finishes, taps the stack square, and passes it through the slot. That's what I can provide. Initials, not interpretations. Thank you. He shrugs. Policy is a comforting thing. Then to the phone, sir. Anything else you want me to print while they're unlocked? David clears his throat. No, that's enough. Back in my study, I lay the packet on the desk, slide the mantel clock into the corner of the frame, and take a single photo. MP sits on each page like a quiet witness. I breathe. They can stall screens. They can't erase ink. I don't read the lines, not yet. I label a manila envelope e-statements and slide the stack and edges even card facing inward. I write Phelps MP on the flap and set the packet under the clock so the weight becomes routine. The phone buzzes. Ms. Rivera today's pickup note left hand again. We'll keep observing. I reply with a single check mark and a thank you. No emojis, no explanations. David calls back. What does it show? It shows pages that a teller initialed, I say. That's all I'm saying today. I'm trying to hold the middle, he says, voice low. Mel says, I heard the edit I cut in gentle. Bring Ethan to church tonight. Sit middle aisle. I'll keep it clean. He's quiet for a count. He sits with me. Good. You're not angry. Anger makes bad handwriting, I say. I'm aiming for legible. A short laugh, unwilling but real. Okay. We hang up. The house settles. Outside, the mail truck rattles past like a memory. I make tea I don't want and stand at the window while the bag clouds the cup. The packet waits on the desk, patient as a cinder block. I don't touch it. I don't need belief. I need the room. The phone dings again. Bank email security hold extended online access limited. I read it once, let the sting land, and set the phone face down next to the clock. The ink inside the envelope doesn't care. Evan appears in a little rectangle on my screen, hair flattened by a headset. Okay, Mr. Dawson, read only. No forwarding. Agreed, I say. You drive. I'll read. He shares his desktop. A spreadsheet menu opens and a file name bar blinks like it's waiting to be named. He clicks export. The save dialog fills the screen. Export Excel Q3CSV. That's the one, I say. He taps save. File's local. I'll email it to you. BCC yourself, I say. And leave headers intact. He smirks. You're worse than my auditor. I aim lower. I just want clean. He sends it. A ping lands in my inbox. I open the message and download the file while my mantel clock chimes once behind me, steady and different. I start my recorder, reading the cadence I say, and I speak the dates aloud. My one by one and as I up to one not amounts just rhythm, how transfers bunch and breathe. Evan watches curious despite himself. Why the recital, he asks. So I hear the pattern once before anyone argues with it. He nods. Fair. Now the hash, I say. I run the checksum note, it in the log. No number said out loud, just hash recorded, written next to the file name. My phone vibrates. Calendar screenshot notary wed 10:30 a.m. I start, then tuck the phone under the monitor so I don't start living in it. Anything else, Evan asks. One last look, I say. Search for LM Gardens or Torres. He filters. Rose, jump, he whistles low. There's a run here. I'll speak only to cadence, I say, and end the recording. Mr. Dawson. This is going to be messy. Messy is fine, I tell him. Messy still fits in envelopes. We end the call. I print my log page, not the CSV, and set both beside the clock for a single photograph habit, not a second exhibit. 2 points make a line, 3 make a truth. In the hallway, Melissa slides past with a laundry basket. Spreadsheet party practice. I say. She keeps moving. Anyone lose a copper bracelet? Found one in the entry yesterday. Could be a neighbor she calls bright enough to travel. Helpful, I say. She stops, looks back. You're spending a lot of time with numbers. They're cheaper than arguments. She laughs. You and your accounting. He always did, I add, for the absent past. That's why we print. Her smile holds, then thins. Don't be late tonight, she says. We're uplifting seniors. Right on time, I say. In the school lot, Ms. Rivera walks Ethan out, then drifts toward my window. Left hand today, she says quietly. Yesterday was right. The grip changes. You'd be willing to sign that observation. She swallows, then nods. Short and factual. I can do it tomorrow. Thank you. She pats the window frame once and steps back before Melissa arrives at the curb with her public smile. I keep mine pocketed. Back in my study, I open the CSV once more and look only at the file name in the window bar. Export HQZL vari QV CSV, the single Q I'll need later. I close it. I don't need to know more. I need to carry less cleaner. My inbox pings again. I expect a note from Evan. Instead, the bank logo blooms. We may contact the primary account holder only. I let the email sit open. No reply, and write the line in the margin of the log. The notary office is a rectangle of glass and quiet. A fern watches me sign in. L. O 21873. Steps out from behind a counter with a stamp unit in her hand like a small anvil. State your purpose in one line, she says. To let the clock testify. Her mouth twitches. ID, please. She compares my license to my face without hurry, then sets a single-page identity form on the counter. Read before you sign. I read. I don't rush. She watches the way I watch the second hand on my mantel clock for drift. Satisfied, she positions the stamp. You understand a notary verifies identity and signature only, she says. No opinions on content. That's why I'm here. She presses down. The rubber meets paper with a soft thud. When she lifts the seal number, shows clean in the circle. She turns the page toward me. That's your visible cue, she says. You'll photograph it clearly if you need a record. I will. My phone vibrates. Mark. I step aside and answer. I'm between flights, he says, background PA calling zones. I've sent the boarding scan from my phone to yours. And I spoke to Collins. She'll text a short personal capacity statement. No company letterhead, just what she saw. I don't need a logo, I say. I need a person. Good. Keep it boring, Dad. That's my lane. We hang up. A new text lands while I'm still looking at the notary seal passenger. Melissa Carter Dawson boarded first row next to Charles Arden. Observed at the gate and cabin door. C. Collins. F.A. personal capacity. Nguyen nods at my phone. More to include witness note, I say. Personal capacity. Keep each page discreet, she says, sliding over a set of colored tabs. Don't staple through stamps. I lay out my dining table in my head and put the pieces in order, a lock. B porch still, handy ledger. Then this notary page and the flight materials is EF. It feels like assembly, not drama. Back home, I set the binder on the dining table. The mantel clock comes down from the shelf to sit beside the stack like a foreman, supervising a weld. I keep the montage tight. I photograph the sealed page with the seal number in frame. I print the FA's line and mark scan. I slip each item behind its tab without comments. 3 beats done. David steps in from the hall, eyes on the binder, the way a man looks at a dog he's not sure knows him. We aren't turning the parish into a courtroom. Rooms can listen without robes, I say. You're going to stand up there, and what accuse my wife I'm going to read times, I say. Let the room decide what they mean. He stares at the sealed page. You think a stamp changes anything? Stamps don't care about me, I say. They carry their own weight. His jaw works. If this blows up Ethan's in the blast radius, then we make the shape of the blast clean, I tell him. No shouting, no names first, just the sequence. He points at the binder. You've built a case. I've built a packet, I say. Cases belong to courts. Tonight is about neighbors, not gaslighting an old man. The phone pings again. Mark a single line. Landing window holds. David's voice drops. What if she has a reason that's not a reason you respect? Then she can say it into the same air I'm breathing, I answer. And the same clock. He looks away, then back, then away again. I don't want to pick sides. You don't have to, I say. Sit with Ethan. If the room hates me, we'll eat chili and I'll apologize. You won't, he says, but there's no heat on it. I close the binder and place my palm flat on the cover until the cardboard warms under my skin. Paper beats performance. At the computer, I open my inbox to send myself the 3 new photos for the log. I don't write a subject line that tries to be clever. I type what they are. The email to myself returns with its little check mark. The chain holds. Another email slides in on top this one from a domain I recognize from the letterhead Melissa uses when she wants to feel important. The subject line wears a lawyer's cologne. Mediation in 14 days. It's auto-generated an intake stamp from David's counsel after he quietly, carefully asked what finding the facts would look like if things went wrong. I print the header only and clip it under the corner of the binder. It isn't evidence, it's a clock we can all read. David watches me do it, then rubs his forehead. This feels like you already decided. I decided to be clear, I say. That's all. He moves to the door. I'm bringing Ethan tonight. He sits with me. You don't look at him when you talk. I'll look at the tabs, I say, and tap A through F with a knuckle. And the seal number. He nods once. Keep it civil. I don't have anything else. I reset the clock on the table so its face shares the frame with the binder and take one last photo. Then I put the clock back where it lives. The house breathes. My phone chimes again. Another email, same firm, this one dressed like a threat wrapped in courtesy. Cease and desist regarding defamation on behalf of Mrs. Dawson. I let the subject line sit. I don't click, I don't answer. I write the 4 words receive and no reply in my log and cap the pen. The parish hallway smells like coffee and floor wax. Through the fellowship room door a hymn leaks out in pale threads. 2 choir moms hover by the sign-in table. Keep it uplifting, one murmurs. And I heard Melissa might do the welcome the other says please like a bow on a box. She's so good at crowds. I keep walking. If they frame the room first, my 2 minutes have to be sharper than pretty. The coordinator meets me with her clipboard like a shield. We run tight tonight. Facts only. Keep it civil. Open mic 1815. She taps a line on the program. I take a photo of the card on my phone, then, 'cause habits become rails, step to the lobby mantel where a brass wall clock hangs and frame it with the screenshot parish clock at 600. My on-screen circle around open mic 1815. 2 clocks, same job. I want 1 mic slot, and I'll use less than 2 minutes, I tell her. No names until the end of the order. Tabs only. She eyes my binder. If you wave papers, I'll cut the mic. I'll read the times I say. No waving. Slot 3, she decides. You then 2 more than a hymn. Fair. Outside by the picnic tables, I lay the binder flat and assign jobs like a foreman handing wrenches. Mark, you come straight to me when you walk in. If I nod, you hold up the boarding scan for 2 seconds, nothing more. Copy, he says over the phone. Luggage wheels clatter in the background. ETA still 17:55 if the taxi line's merciful. Don't sprint, just be visible, Dad. Keep it boring. I'm incapable of anything else, I say, and end the call. Ms. Rivera. I say when she steps close, you'll sit where you can see the stage. I may need you to confirm a 1-sentence left hand yesterday, right the day before. I can say that she answers. No adjectives. No adjectives, I agree. David pulls up with Ethan and kills the engine. He looks like a man walking 2 dogs tugging opposite directions. No ambush, he says. Receipts aren't ambush. You sit aisle middle. If Ethan squirms, you take him outside. I won't look at him while I talk. And Melissa, he asks. I don't control her. He exhales. I don't either. We stand a beat. The hymn inside turns to shuffling and metal chair legs. I open the binder and touch each tab once a roll call, a lock. B porch still, C hand, D ledger, EF seal and seat. The order sits solid in my head. 1 clean reveal in the light, I tell myself low enough the grass hears it more than David. He tilts his head. Say that again. Nothing. Inside the hall, I walk the room edges aisle, podium exit, so my feet know where to go when the heart gets loud. The coordinator intercepts me again. 2 minutes, Mr. Dawson. That's generous. She tries not to smile. We are not a court. Good. Courts are slow. On stage, a volunteer taps a mic, winces, lowers the volume. He glances down at the timer app on his phone. Hard 2-minute cut, he mouths to me. Red light and you're done, understood. I carry the binder back to my truck, set it on the passenger seat, and run the read once in a whisper. No ornament. A at 14:13, B at 15:14. C the hand that can't decide. D the ledger cadence. EF seal and seat. Then the line I've kept in my pocket like a coin. Clocks don't take sides, only times. The mantel clock rides shotgun in a tote wrapped in an old towel. I take it out, compare its face to the parish wall clock through the fellowship door window, nudge the knob a breath to match, then tuck it back. Not a prop, just a private promise that I'm walking in straight. My phone pings. A parish group text blinks, reminder, open mic at 18:15. Keep remarks warm. Warm is not my problem. Clear is. I slide the phone away and recheck the tabs. A through F feel like a spine. David texts from inside. We found middle aisle. Ethan's drawing. We're okay? Good, I reply. No scenes, he echoes. I pocket the phone, shoulder the binder, and start back toward the doors. Another ping stops me halfway. Update Melissa added to welcome remarks. I read it twice, then breathed once through my nose. The room just tilted 3 degrees. Fine. I've worked on sloped floors. Ms. Rivera closes the side room door behind us and smooths a school pad on the table. The fellowship hall hum leaks through the wall, chairs, sliding silverware, knocking. I'll write only what I saw, she says. No adjectives. That's exactly what I need. I place a pen in front of her and keep my hands off the paper. One sentence dated signed. She thinks a moment, then writes in tidy print, observed Melissa, help Ethan with homework, right hand, Monday, left hand, Tuesday. R. Rivera. She adds today's date and signs with a small confident loop. David leans in the doorway, voice kept low. Henry, this is, pulling school into it. It's one factual sentence, I say. No pressure. Daylight. Ms. Rivera looks up. I'm comfortable. It's the truth. David softens a fraction. Then keep it brief, please. I tell him. As we step into the copy nook, a volunteer tapes a sign above the machine. Please no staples through forms, scanner jams. The copier whirs. A tray thumps shut. 1 page per person if you can, she adds, harried but kind. That's our speed, I say, and we wait while a parishioner finishes. I set Miss Rivera's page on the glass press, start and breathe, while the lamp crawls under the words. I don't admire it. I don't repeat it. I slip the original into a thin envelope, write Rivera's signature on the flap, and tuck it into my binder behind C. The scan hits my email. I forward it to myself once for the login. Stop there. Short and clean beats kind and vague. Out in the hall, the coordinator passes with her clipboard. Reminder fax only. Keep it civil. That's the plan, I say. My phone buzzes. Mark taxi. Pixie 10 out. Don't wait on me for the signature. Be boring. Boring, I text back. Ms. Rivera clears her throat. If someone asks me why I wrote it, I'll say, because it happened. That's enough, I say. Please go enjoy the food. Sit where you can see the podium. David falls in step beside me toward the door. You're making a spectacle. I'm making a record, I say, and keep moving. He lowers his voice another notch. Don't make the room choose between you and Melissa. I'll make them choose between clock and charm. Same thing sometimes. Not tonight. Back in my study for a breath-long pit stop, I lay the signed page beside the mantel clock and take a clean photo for the chain, then return the page to its envelope. The clock's tick calms my hands like a metronome. The parish thread pings my phone on the desk. Same graphic as before, pasted again. Tonight, 18:00. Open mic. 18:15. I snap a quick screenshot, then pocket the phone, with the habit of a man who has already decided what time is. Melissa's message pops beneath it in the group. Can't wait to uplift everyone tonight. Gratitude and love hearts pile up. I keep my thumb off the keyboard. David's name lights again on the screen. I'm serious, he says when I pick up. Don't drag the school into it. She wrote what she saw, I say. 1 sentence isn't pressure, it's daylight. He exhales. Then keep everything else to 2 minutes. Under that, I'll hold you to it. I want you to. We hang up. I slip Ms. Rivera's envelope behind the tab and close the binder so it feels like one piece. My hands are steady now. The house is quiet enough to hear the clock. I set the binder on the passenger seat and lock the truck. Through the parish hall window I can see the podium and the little timer, glowing amber. I nod once and start toward the doors. The kids' check-in desk is a folding table dressed like authority laminate signs, a plastic bin of paper wristbands, a clipboard with names in tidy rows. The volunteer smiles until I say Ethan's name. Pickup, she asks. Grandfather, I say. Henry Dawson. Her finger runs the column, then stops on nothing. You're not on the authorized pickup list. Add me, I say, calm. His father is here. We can't add on the fly, she says, voice going careful. She flips a laminated card. QR required for pickup, sorry. It's me, I say. I live with him. A second volunteer arrives with the same smile. We'll just ask you to wait outside until a listed adult arrives. I keep my hands open and visible the way foremen do when men are nervous. Is David inside? He'll need to come to the desk, the second one says. Policy not personal. The parish coordinator appears at my shoulder clipboard like a badge. Mr. Dawson, we have to follow procedure. You can wait just outside the doors, then print the names you trust, I say, so I don't have to guess at my own grandson. A beat of shocked silence, then the coordinator's voice softens like she's handling a skittish horse. Please, Henry. Behind the table, a mic on stage thumps as someone checks levels. 2 ushers near the door lean toward each other. If he's not on the list, have him wait outside, one whispers. Copy, the other says. We'll handle him. I feel the heat rise in my face, not anger so much as the old shop burn you get when someone moves the guard just to make you look clumsy. David doesn't answer my first call. On the second, he picks up breathless. We're walking from our seats. Don't drag us into a scene. Then add me to the list today, I say. Or meet the desk yourself. 2 minutes is, he says, and hangs up. Ms. Rivera passes behind the table with a stack of coloring sheets. She catches my eye, gives the smallest nod I saw, and keeps walking. She says nothing. That helps and hurts in the same motion. I step back 3 paces and breathe. My hands stop trying to make fists. I bring the clipboard eye level and read the header, authorized pickup with the parish logo, neat rows. My name is not in the alphabet where it should sit. I raise my phone. One photo I tell the coordinator. No names highlighted. Context only. She hesitates, then nods. Fine. No zoom. I take the shot. Clean square, the header and logo visible, my name absent where it should live. I lower the phone. Thank you. Henry, she says gentle, wait outside. We'll find David. I walk to the double doors. They open on a small slab of evening air and a view of the parking lot. I stand on the concrete and look at the smudged sky like it has instructions written in it. My phone buzzes. A timer app I set earlier glows on screen, open mic ATEAM 815. I thumb it and let the overlay show what I already feel in my ribs, T145. A mom with a stroller swings past. She gives me the kind smile people reserve for men who might cry. I don't. I lean against the brick and hold still long enough to recognize what the feeling is. They made me a problem on paper. The doors hiss open and David steps through. They need me to sign something for you, he says, annoyed at everyone. Sign it, I say. Or don't. But don't ask me to pretend a gate isn't a gate. This is about safety, he says. Don't make it moral. It's already moral, I say. You just put the courtesy on top. He rubs his forehead. We'll fix it later. Right now, no scene. No scene, I say. Just the timer. He looks at my screen, reads T143, and flinches like a number can judge him. We'll sit with Ethan, he says. You... Cool off. I'm cool, I say. He disappears inside. The usher props one door with a wedge and gives me the tight smile of someone who has watched 1,000 weddings and wants this to feel like one. I open my email, attach the photo of the list, and send it to myself with the subject to some pickup list and the body context only. The send whoosh sounds theatrical for what was just a man taking a picture of an absence. In the glass, I can see my reflection in the fellowship room lights. I look like a man who has been moved to the lobby to keep the furniture comfortable. The phone timer ticks down. T141. I reset my shoulders, square the binder under my arm, and watch the doors like they're a set of lungs. David steps up to the check-in table signs twice and slides the clipboard back. Add Henry Dawson to pickup, he says. He's with us. The volunteer nods, relieved to have instructions. Updated. She looks at me like I've been returned to inventory. Small rise, then the room tilts. Inside the hall, an AV volunteer taps the lectern mic and holds up a laminated card to Jose Max. No exhibits wave names at end. Watch out, he points at the timer app. Green to 0030, then red. I will cut. Understood, I say. The coordinator edges over. Same rules as earlier, fax only. Keep it civil. Facts are civil, I tell her. She nods once, unconvinced. Keep it warm, David murmurs at my shoulder, Ethan's fingers braided in his. Please. Clear as warm, I say. He winces. You know what I mean. I do. House lights drift lower. The program slide glows on the walls. Open mic Chabizon. Deal 1815. Ushers fan the aisles like they're shaping traffic for a parade. I stay peripheral packet under my arm, counting my breaths to 2 minutes. The AV tech runs the timer test 0200, 0100, 0030, 0000, each drop punctuated by a polite beep. He flicks the fader satisfied. The sound of chairs settling is a soft weather front. From stage left, Melissa steps to the mic in a cream blouse that photographs well. The room hushes on cue. She smiles with both hands, palms lifted like she's cradling the audience. Welcome, she says, voice warm enough to butter bread. Tonight is about gratitude, uplifting the people who make this parish a family. And sometimes as families grow and elders bless us with their wisdom, we also honor that change can bring worry. She laughs softly at herself. We practice patience. We lead with love. Heads nod. A deacon smiles at me as if I've already been comforted. She goes on gentle as gauze. So if anyone feels anxious, know you're seen and safe and held. Applause sprinkles the room. None of it is for a fact. All of it lands like a verdict. David leans in. She's not naming you. She doesn't have to, I say. Warmth without truth is a blanket over smoke. Please, he whispers. The coordinator steps to me, program in hand. You're still slot 3. 2 minutes. No names till the end. Copy. Mark's name lights my phone on schedule. Good. I slide the phone back. The packet under my arm feels like a level 1 tool that doesn't care about opinions. Melissa closes with, let's keep our hearts open. More applause. She steps off into a little bouquet of smiles. An usher drifts between us with a polite body. He doesn't block me, just shapes me out of the current. Being moved like furniture stings. Standing straight costs less. The coordinator whispers first Mike, then you. She gestures to a teen with a poem. The timer starts green, sliding down to yellow. The poem ends. A thank you. Second Mike, an update about canned goods. Another thank you. The AV tech catches my eye and taps the red button with one finger. I will cut, he mouths again. I heard you, I say. David squeezes Ethan's shoulder. Keep it warm, he repeats a plea, trying to be a rule. Clear as warm, I say, and step into the aisle. The house lights dip a hair for the transition. On the wall, the timer runs another zero rehearsal. My phone buzzes in my palm. Mark parking 2 minute do. I look at the stage at the mic that will judge me only in seconds and tighten my grip on the binder's spine. The coordinator nods me forward. The aisle hushes around my shoes. At the lectern, the timer flips to 0200 green. I steady the binder on the edge and take the mic. I don't need your belief, just your ears for 2 minutes. A few heads turn, a few fold arms. Sequence only, I say. At 14:13, the front door code changed. No debate, just a log line. At 15:14, I lift one page from the binder, a single printed still. This shows a hand remove a copper bracelet before entering. You can see the overlay. I hold the page up for 2 seconds. The corner reads 15:14. The AV tech watches my hands like a referee. I set the still down flat. The timer slides to 0133. Next, the child's teacher wrote one sentence that she saw right hand Monday, left hand Tuesday. No adjectives. I tap the tab. She is here if the room needs her name. The sentence exists either way. A murmur. The coordinator lifts a palm quiet. Next, my son's account shows transfers labeled I Torres Services Childcare. Tell her initials sit on each printed page. I'm not asking you to trust me, just the initials. The deacon leans forward. The timer ticks to 0108. Next to CSV export ACH Zell Q3.CSV lays the cadence of those transfers over the weeks they mattered. Henry David calls from the aisle, voice tight, keep it warm. Clear as warm, I answer without turning. I look back to the room. Finally a flight. A boarding scan exists, and Flight Attendant Collins in her personal capacity texted, Passenger Melissa Carter Dawson boarded first row next to Charles Arden, observed at the gate in cabin door. This page is notarized, identity verified. The timer drops to 0036 yellow. Melissa stands from the third row, a smile pinned. Henry, we love your diligence, but I keep my eyes on the tabs. I promise no names until the end. The coordinator gestures, let him finish. I rest a hand on the binder. That is the order. 1513 lock, 1514 bracelet off, handwriting, right then left, ledgers labeled I Torres Services. A CSV with the rhythm of those payments, then seat 1A, confirmed by a person with eyes and a job. My voice stays even. I have one request for the room. Don't decide by smiles, decide by order. Clocks don't take sides, only times. Grandpa Ethan says small from the aisle. I keep looking at the tabs. Buddy, I'm reading the times, that's all. The timer hits 0014, red glows faint around the numbers. I lift my chin. If anyone needs to confirm I'm not inventing the hand, Ms. Rivera, are you willing to say your sentence out loud? One line. From the floor, her voice, observed Melissa help Ethan with homework. Right hand Monday, left hand Tuesday. Soft gasps roll through those back rows. The AV tech's thumb hovers over the cut. I point to Mark without looking. He steps into the aisle and raises the boarding scan for 2 beats. No codes, just the visible shape of travel. He lowers it, already pocketing the phone. Melissa's face goes perfectly still, then cracks at the edges. This is a misunderstanding. I was trying to keep things gentle. Henry has been... David doesn't speak. He is not nodding anymore. He's holding Ethan's drawing hand. Then say it plainly, I tell her, not unkind. In this air. The timer shows 0003. Her voice reaches for the old warmth and misses. She swallows. The mic picks it up. I'm sorry. The word lands like a plate dropped in a quiet kitchen. I paid her, she manages, eyes shining. Isabella, I paid her to help. And She glances at David, then the room. I'm sorry. The coordinator steps in gently, palm toward the crowd. We'll take a moment. The red light brightens. The tech presses cut. The sound dies into held breath. I close the binder, not fast, and step back from the mic. Sunday morning, the house feels like a shop after a fire drill, everything where it should be, just a little louder in the quiet. I set the binder on the desk and open the smart lock app. The admin device that wasn't mine is still listed. I remove it with a press that feels like a small door closing. New code, new backup code. I don't say them out loud. I handwrite them on a card for David, and we stand at the door like 2 men checking a guardrail. Test it, I say. He enters the sequence. The bolt slides, the house nods. He exhales. I'll keep codes with counsel, he says. No texts? Good, I answer. Paper beats performance. He almost smiles. You've said that before. We walk to the kitchen where Ethan draws at the table. Ms. Rivera drops by with a bag of library books. 3 explorers, she tells him, setting them in a row. They all tell the truth about where they went. Do they get lost, he asks. Only for a little, she says, and looks at me. See you tomorrow, Mr. Dawson. Thank you, I tell her. She leaves the room lighter than she found it. By afternoon, the parish coordinator replies to our message, roster updated, Henry Dawson permanently authorized for pickup. Effective immediately. No exhibit, no stamp, just a policy seat that should have had my name in it a year ago. It will do. At 4, Melissa texts that she'll come for her things. Mark stands on the porch with me when her car pulls in. He doesn't posture. He leans on the rail and watches the street. She climbs the steps with a tote and a smile, trying hard to be useful. I can explain, she says softly. Privately inside. Explanations live in filings, not my hallway. I answer. We're keeping process clean. Her mouth hardens, then loosens. Henry. I said I was sorry. I heard you, I say. Today is about boundaries. Warmth can visit. Truth gets a key. She looks past me. David? He steps into the doorway. Counsel only, he says. His voice is tired, not cruel. Her shoulders sag. Fine. She glances at Mark and tries a different tone. You look well. Wheels up at 6, he says. We're clear here. She takes the tote I already packed, clothes, toiletries, the copper bracelet placed on top like a period, and turns to go, then stops. Ethan reading, I say. He'll have dinner, then sleep. You can call at 7 tomorrow on speaker. That's rigid. It's steady. She swallows anything else she meant to say, then nods once and walks down the steps. In the driveway, she wipes her eyes, then gets in and drives away. The house exhales. Inside, David stands by the sink, twisting the dish towel into a rope. I'm filing, he says. My attorney will coordinate with hers. I don't want a war. Wars are noisy, I say. We're building a schedule. About Ethan, thank you, he adds, and the please in his voice finally rests. We don't hug. We stand in the kitchen like men who plan to keep chairs where they belong. We change Ethan's bedtime routine in a way that feels like the right kind of small. He reads me 2 pages. I read him 2 pages. When he asks if there will be 2 moms again, I tell him, there will always be one truth, and he nods like that is a kind of lullaby. After he sleeps, Mark finds me in the study. You good? Better than good, I say. I'm finished arguing with air. He taps the binder, then leaves it shut. I'll fly back tonight. Call if you need noise cut to size. I will. We take a last walk around the house like old foreman windows, latch porch light set to a sensible hour, the new lock behaving. David sends a brief email to both counsel, proceed with mediation. Household codes changed. Pickup roster updated. I don't need a copy. I know what it says because it finally says only what needs saying. On Monday, I stop by the parish office window. The coordinator slides a laminated card across to me, authorized pickup with a new line printed. She taps my name like a blessing. This was overdue, she admits. Some things ripen late, I say. Back home, I carry the mantel clock to its shelf. It looks smaller where it belongs and heavier for having traveled. I set it down and angle it true. The house returns to its old noises, the heater throat-clearing the soft blink of the router pencils in a cup. Justice isn't loud. It's steady. My phone chimes on the desk. A calendar banner floats up mediation D13 at 10 a.m. The room holds the sound like it's a note we can sustain. I thumb the reminder quiet and let the silence stand. Then I look at the clock one last time and leave it to do the job it's always done. Truth didn't arrive with a shout. It came in order patient as a ledger. My family will heal in time, and I'll protect that time the same way I won the room by letting the impossible speak for itself. I straighten the shelf, breathe once, and listen as the mantel clock answers with a clean tick. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Type 1 if you resonate with this story.